My name's Jenna and I'm a maker in the Northern Virginia area. I have wanted to make a YouTube channel for probably years now, and I keep chickening out. So we'll see if this video sees the light of day. We'll see if another video comes. We'll see if this is my only one and I chicken out again. But I'm hoping I like it. I'm hoping I continue, and I'm hoping I can connect with more people through my YouTube channel. Life has been hard for a couple of years now, and so one thing I'm trying to do this year is I'm trying to try. I'm trying to do those hard things that will get me closer to the life that I want to live. And so this is hard. It's hard putting myself out there. It's hard sitting here talking to my iPhone like it's a person. But I'm trying to try. So step one is filming. If I hate it and it never goes up, that's okay. I tried. So thanks for being here if you're watching. This will be a mostly knitting channel. However, I like to say Jenna Wolf Makes because there's so many other fiber arts and other crafts that I want to learn. And so they might pop up here and there throughout. Knitting is my main craft. That's what I spend most of my time on. But I know a little bit of crochet and I'm very intrigued by a lot of crochet. I can make a granny square and that's it, and not a very good one. But I know right now that Toni Lipsey of TL Yarn Crafts is starting her crochet academy for this year, and so I might pop into that and see if I can build upon those skills and maybe make like a finished item, which would be pretty cool. I am also super new to spinning. I did like a 10-minute tutorial at Maryland Sheep and Wool on a drop spindle, and I bought a bunch of fiber and I haven't touched it since. So spinning is on the horizon. I don't know if I'll like it, so I don't want to get like an e-spinner, or I don't even know what they're called, like a spinning wheel. So I'm gonna try to learn on a drop spindle, which is probably the hardest way to do it, but it's also the most cost effective, which is where I'm at right now. So spinning is on the horizon. I was gonna do Tour de Fleece, it didn't happen, that's okay. Another thing I'd love to learn is weaving. I read Circe by Madeline Miller recently, and in it she talks about Circe weaving these gorgeous like tapestries all the time, and immediately I was like, have to learn how to weave. I need tapestries for every wall in my home. So I'd love to learn how to weave. And then my sister and I really want to get into sewing. We both used to sew in the past and we'd love to get back into it, so that might pop in here and there. We have plans for a quilt and also plans for like a mock turtleneck pullover. So I'm hoping we can get back to that soon as well. And then another craft I would love to learn is woodworking. My grandfather was a woodworker and did beautiful inlaid wood jewelry and artwork, and I've recently found a local place that teaches you how to woodwork in like a make and take type style program where you can make like a charcuterie board or a jewelry box or something like that. They provide the materials and then you can take it with you at the end. So I think my sister and I are going to get into that as well, which will be very cool. So, long story short, you might see some other crafts pop in here and there. You might not. I might never get to them. It might be a long time. But yeah, things I would like to do in the future. So, mostly knitting, maybe some other things pop in here and there. So, my plan was to start with a traditional podcast format, but we're in that weird time between the end of summer and fall starting, and I realized I have one finished object and 0 whips, which feels wild. That is to say, 0 whips that I want to continue working on right now, because summer is ending. So I feel like by the time I finish them, there's like a couple tank tops. There's several tank tops, like a summer scarf, things like that, where by the time I finish them, I'm not gonna want to wear them because it's gonna be fall. So instead of a traditional podcast format, I thought I will tell you my 2025 fall knitting plans. Yay, fall. I'm so excited. Sweater weather. So yeah, a little bit of a change of plans, but it's my first video, so it doesn't matter. So let's dive in. One thing I'll say is that I love gift knitting. I know that that is controversial, but what I will say is I don't give myself a deadline. If my friends and family are knit-worthy, then they can wait to get it because I am a very slow knitter. I have been telling my friend Sam, hi Sam, for 3+ years, maybe more, that she's getting a pair of socks, and she doesn't yet have the pair of socks. So I have these grand gifting plans, and they happen very, very slowly, and my friends are very gracious about that, and that's why I still love gift knitting, I think, is that there's 0 pressure. There's always some holiday. If I miss one, there's going to be another one that I can wrap it up and say, here you go. So I take the pressure off that way. So for the fall, I have 3 plans that I want to gift knit, and they're all socks. So the first 2 are from Summerly Knits book, The Sock Project, which is a great book because I've only ever made 3 socks. I made a pair of socks. They do not have negative ease, so they're a bit slouchy, but they're my first pair of socks, just a vanilla, I believe it was top down, cuff down sock. I used Sarah Opie's Monday sock pattern from Sarah Opie of S Knits, and it's just a vanilla sock. And that was really fun. I realized I needed to go down a needle size, and I did that, and I picked up for another pair of socks, and I knit 1.5, and that was almost 2 years ago. So I need to finish that pair, but also I want to get more into sock knitting, so I bought Summerly's book because I've only ever made a vanilla cuff down. I think it's cuff down. I'm almost positive. I might be lying. Anyway, I want to learn more about socks. So, the first pair of socks that I have planned are the basic sock number 2, the Afterthought heel from Summerlee's The Sock Project. These are going to be for my friend Maddie. She requested socks and she said black and pink striped, and I found the perfect yarn. Also, hi Maddie, if you're watching. This is Scream Queen from Nomadic Yarns. It is a self-striping yarn, so all of these different colors are going to be micro stripes. It is on her trusty sock base, which is 462 yards per 100 grams, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. So I'm very excited for these, and I hope Maddie is too. I think they're gonna be really fun. I love self-striping yarn. When I first started knitting, I used a lot of Lion Brand mandala yarn, which are like thicker stripes. This blanket behind me is made from mandala. So I'm very intrigued by the idea of self-striping socks. I think they're gonna be so fun. And that's why I want to do the Afterthought heel. First of all, I've never done one, but I love the idea of just being able to knit a tube and then putting in the heel and the toe later. You can just like go. I think that might be more motivating to get my socks done. And I think that will look really good with the self-striping, to put in the Afterthought heel later and make sure it's kind of in between stripes. So I'm very excited about that. I've also never knit socks 2 at a time, and I'm not sure this is the project to start that. So I probably won't. Maybe a different pair of socks, because we have 3 that we're going to be working on this fall. So that's sock number 1. Exciting. Sock number 2, also from the Sock Project, is for my friend Jeff. Hi Jeff. It is going to be the color blocked ribbed socks, except I'm not going to color block them. They're just going to be solid. But a nice ribbed sock, which I think will fit really nicely. I am using this yarn from Fangirl Fibers. It's a beautiful like burgundy red. It was from her Taylor Swift club from several years ago now. That's something I should note. All of my yarn almost is like years old. I did a bunch of clubs. I have a lot of single skeins. I'm trying to figure out how to use them all and not just have a million pairs of socks, although it might end up being that, and maybe that's okay. But anyway, don't get attached to any of the yarn that I'm showing you, because most likely it's unavailable and years old. I'm trying really hard to work through my stash of yarn this year, before buying more yarn and trying different yarn brands and more maybe commercial stuff. So a lot of it's hand dyed, a lot of it's single skeins, a lot of it is years old, a lot of it's unavailable. Sorry in advance. But that yarn was from her Taylor Swift yarn club, and I believe it was called Rubies That I Gave Up. It was a maroon colorway. If you're a Swiftie, you know, if you know, you know. And I believe it's her Enchanted Sock Base, which is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon blend, and it's about 400 yards. So plenty for a pair of socks. And I'm excited. And then sock number 3, we have the Esker socks by Sarah Opie. of S Knits. And the yarn I'm using is Magpie Fibers Swanky Sock, which is a blend of 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. It is gorgeous. It's squishy, it's soft. I love it. Sorry if there's hair on this ball. I have a cat and a dog, and I have long hair, and my partner has long hair. There's a lot of hair. There's about 400 yards per ball. And this is the colorway Juniper Rising. My friend Sam loves gray and black. A lot of people in my life that I love love gray and black, which they're allowed to like what they like, but a little bit boring from a maker standpoint. So she finally said dark green. So dark green socks for Sam. Hi Sam, coming your way, finally. And those are my sock projects for the fall. We'll see if I get any of them done, if I get all of them done, if I get one sock per pair done. Who knows? Next up on my list is a hat pattern. I am jumping on the bandwagon, and I'm going to make the Musselburgh hat from Isolde, and I'm very excited because my friend Sam for my birthday got me this gorgeous Magpie Fibers Swanky sock. I believe the colorway is Evil Beaver, but I'm not sure because it came in a little like kit. But this gorgeous like rusty orangey brown. So I am planning on using leftovers from the Juniper Rising skein and doing, if I can, a half and half with these two, which I think will be gorgeous. I'm very excited about it. So I'm pretty sure, if I'm reading the pattern right, I will have a hat that has an orange brim and a green cuff, folded cuff, and then vice versa, a green brim and a brown cuff. That's what I want anyway, so I'll figure that out when I'm doing it. And I'm very excited because what's more fall than like green and brown? And everyone loves that hat, so it's gonna be great. And then I have 3 sweaters. Now, I should have started this by saying there's no way I'm getting all of this done in fall, and I know that. I'm a slow knitter. I tend to get frustrated and bored, and then I just want to cast on something else. But instead of casting on something else, I know I shouldn't, and I should be working on my project, so then I just don't knit, which is helping no one. So maybe I'll cast them all on, and then I can switch in between them, and maybe that will go better. Something to think about, something to consider. But anyway, I know I'm probably not getting all these done. I have 3 sweater plans that I would like to work on in the fall. Number 1 is the Cottage Cardigan by Jack Cieslak. I have my notes over here, that's why I'm looking to the side. I am using this Garth Nor Organic Priscelli, I'm assuming is how you say it. I don't know. And this beautiful colorway Baked Crimson. It's a 75% Polworth, 15% Romney, 10% Hebridean. British wool. That's beautiful. I think it'll be a really nice fall cardigan. Now, the only thing is the cottage cardigan is in sport weight, and this is fingering, but I'm gonna see if I can get a gauge because it seemed very kind of plump. So we'll see. It might not work, but that's my current plan. I haven't swatched for anything yet. Might do that later tonight. Exciting. Fall's coming. Woohoo. My next sweater project is the Stick Season sweater by Rebecca Clow of the Crayabea. And I am planning on using this Explorer Knits and Fibers Cashmere Cavern sock in the colorway My Guinness. Gorgeous. Earthy brown. This base is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. And there are 435 yards. So I do have the sock base and I'm planning on holding it double. But yeah, just a beautiful purpley brown. So a little bit different than the other brown I had before. And I've been wanting to make this Stick Season sweater since before it came out and I haven't gotten around to it. So we're doing it. Exciting. And then last but not least, but also the most daunting, which is probably why I haven't started it, I have yarn from probably 4 years ago. It's all Hobbit themed colorways, probably like 12 single skeins from a Hobbit club by Ruby and the Yarn Company, who I don't know if she's dying anymore. She's been on kind of a long hiatus, but I hope she comes back because her yarn's beautiful. I have all these single skeins. They're all Hobbit themed. I want to do something special with it because I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. So I decided to combine them all into one project and make the Patchwork Pullover by Claire Jackson of Perfectly Knotted. But my plan is to continue the patchwork down the sleeves. I found a Ravelry project that did that and I think it looks great, and that's kind of the vibe I want and would help, I think, because I don't have enough of a contrast color to do the sleeves in them. So I think that will help kind of stretch the yarn further. And I'll put in a B-roll of all the colors that I'm using, but I'm very excited and nervous to try that one just because I'll have 12 different balls of yarn floating around into one project, which is a little crazy, but it will be my first time learning Intarsia, which will be fun because there's a lot of Intarsia projects I'd like to make, and I'll finally have my Hobbit themed sweater. And that gives me an excuse to rewatch all the movies and re-listen to all the books while I'm working on it. So, good excuse. And those are my fall knitting plans. I'm excited, I'm motivated. I just finished a shawl from my friend Stephanie, who I'm seeing tonight. Hi, Stephanie. And I have one last summer project for my friend Georgia. It's going to be a surprise for her. It's the Jack Scarf by Laura Penrose, and then it's into the fall knitting. Hi, Georgia. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here if you stayed till the end. This definitely got easier as I went on, so who knows, maybe there'll be a second one. Maybe a more traditional podcast format once I get started on all of these projects. and let me know in the comments what your fall knitting plans are. It's sweater weather time. It's here, you guys. We've made it. Thank you again for watching. I really appreciate you being here. It's hard to put yourself out there in this way, but I'm trying to try. And I might see you next time. Bye. Hi, I'm back. I forgot to mention what I was wearing. It's my Tolsta tee by Rebecca Clow of the Crayabé. The yarn I used was Ilmani Sabri 2, which is a cotton alpaca blend. I don't know the exact blend. And I believe the colorway was French Country Blue, French Blue, something like that. So yes, my Tolsta tee. Rookie mistake, not mentioning what I'm wearing. Okay, bye.